Hey dudes, this is Cynthia Levin, and I guess I'm supposed to say I'm not famous yet, and I am a comedian. A non-famous comedian. And you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the past. Tommy's a naughty little fuck, but he is awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things could get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming a hilarious, young, up-and-coming comedian from the Comedy Store. She is absolutely hilarious. She is going to go far. Her name is Jessica Wellington. She is the co-host of the Comedy Store podcast Liars Club, available on YouTube. And I'm having her on the show today to talk about comedy, talk about just any kind of random shit that comedians talk about, and maybe some taboo topics and stuff like that. And I can't wait. She's absolutely hilarious. And I love talking to comedians that are cool. And I can't wait. So, here is my interview with Jessica Wellington. What's up, Jessica?
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
I had a late night. I kind of celebrated New Year's last night.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the show. How are you overall?
Overall, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I first saw you when you were on Joey Diaz's The Church of What's Happening Now, and you left a big impression on me with that infectious laugh that you have.
Yeah, some people either love it or hate it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's no in between.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I thank you for taking the time the day after New Year's Day. And is this your first over-the-phone podcast?
I did one with Corky, but I think something happened, and it didn't even get published. So, yeah, I guess you'd be my first.
Oh, good. I've popped a lot of podcast cherries, mainly 80s movie actresses that are old enough to be my mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, going back in time, were you always funny growing up?
I don't know. I mean, I like to think I was. You know, when you're the chubby, I think that you always end up being funny in some fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah. I mean, I just try to laugh things off. I also came from shit family, so
Yeah.
they, it just made it easier. Made it easier if you could just laugh and be all right with it. I don't know. We would pick on each other and kind of made it just easier.
Yeah. Who did you watch in stand-up?
I watched, a lot of Def Comedy Jam and all that back then. I remember watching Eddie Murphy. I remember whenever, I think I was in high school, I was in high school or I was just in the military, but I remember seeing Big J on TV, and I enjoyed him. Dane Cook, actually, I know a lot of people kind of forget about him, but he really was a huge influence on people. People that didn't watch stand-up started to watch stand-up a lot with it because of him.
Yeah. I haven't forgotten about Dane. He was the biggest comedian in the world when I started.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, how can you forget Dane Cook? I mean, he made MySpace. MySpace made him. I mean, you just can't forget Dane Cook. You
can, yeah. I think people kind of are right now. Mm-hmm. He's making a comeback.
Yeah.
But I think people forget how much that he actually did.
Mm-hmm. Who are your influences?
Well, I love Roseanne. but she was a huge influence. You know, she started that sitcom when there wasn't anything out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge, you know. See people like that on television. She's a big influence. I also love Wanda Sykes.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's hilarious.
She's good.
I love that she's just herself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's good. What year did you start doing stand-up?
I don't know, it was like 8 or 9 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm so bad with dates. You know?
Yeah.
When did you start?
I started 3 times in the Bay Area, but the first time was 2006.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, I started 2006. There was like, I don't know, 25 or 30 other open micers that were starting at that same time. About 12 of them are in LA right now and doing pretty good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, there was, let's see, when I started, there was Ali Wong, there was Marcella Arqualo, there was Chris Garcia, Kasim Bentley, Caitlin Gill, Mo Mandel, Sean Keane, Kevin Monroe, Kevin O'Shea, Rachel McDowell. Yeah, they're all out in LA now. And then all the rest of them, they all got out of comedy, or maybe there's like maybe 4 of them left in the Bay Area now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it shows you, you know, the people that stick with it, it ends up going somewhere for them, usually.
Yeah. I know the thing with me though is that I had no mentors, I had no friends in comedy and stuff, so I was doing it as a hobby for the longest time until I had my car accident in 2015, and in a couple of weeks it'll be the 5-year anniversary of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad accident. I spent 30 days in a coma.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Was it like medically induced coma so you could heal?
It was medically induced, and it was just very surreal. The first couple of weeks I was up, I was under so much anesthesia, my whole body was numb, and I saw things that were not even there. It was just fucking weird. I can't describe it. You know, it's something that you have to experience for yourself, but it was just weird. Really weird.
Wow. That happened to my brother one time when he was in a car accident. He was in a coma for a while. They had him.
Mm-hmm.
He had this bleeding on the brain and all that kind of stuff. He never was the same after that.
Yeah. It's funny, I did not get any brain injuries, but sometimes I feel like I did because I forget a lot of stuff, and then it just hits me. I remember it later, you know, and I used to have, and I still do to an extent, have a memory like an elephant, but it used to be a lot better. My short-term memory sucks now.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome to my world. It's just me normal.
They're getting older, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're okay now. Fuck, dude. Am I allowed to cuss?
Now you can swear all you fucking want.
Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. Damn,
thanks.
That's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't come back from stuff like that.
No. The ones who do though are the ones that people are afraid of, because they're like, man, like I'm talking to a ghost, you know?
Right.
Shit. Where did you start doing comedy at?
We started in Sacramento.
Started in Sacramento. Wow.
The comedy spot. I love the comedy spot. They are, I'll never forget them. Like, they just nurtured me and brought me along there. Brian and Mignon, they're really great people.
Mm-hmm.
I had the tattoo. That's never going anywhere.
Yeah. My friend...
Yeah, I started with improv.
Mm-hmm.
Only by like a few months, and then I started stand-up. But at first I did improv.
Mm-hmm. My friend Kristen Frisk is down there in the Sacramento area. You know her?
Yeah, Kristen's great, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome, I love her.
I met her. We did an audition for Flappers Comedy Festival about 6 months after I got out of the hospital, which I wasn't fucking ready that night, I'll tell you. I thought I was, but I wasn't. In hindsight, I was just fucking terrible. But I met her that night, not knowing that she had started in the Bay Area before I had, and she had already gone down to Sacramento by the time I started. And her and I just became instant friends. And she's been on the podcast like at least 3 times now. And every time she's on, we just have a fucking ball, just fucking laughing out loud. I mean, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's funny, dude.
Yeah, the first time we did it, we talked for like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and she did not want to do the podcast for that long. So ever since then, we make sure that it's at least a half an hour. But I was just like, yeah, I'm trying to do what Rogan and all those guys do on their podcast, talking for 2.5 hours and stuff.
No, you can't do that shit, dude. What? Not over the phone. And you know how long it took him to be able to sit down with people for hours?
Yeah.
So people will go insane.
Yeah.
We're not on here for hours, are we?
No. It was just an experiment that I was doing at the time.
Right.
It was 2 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
As much as I love Rogan, I can't even watch all of his episodes because, that would be a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, when you're recovering from an accident like I am, you have so much time on your hands, you can watch all of them, and that's what I do. But if he's interviewing a guy who's like, a physicist or into hunting or any of that shit, I just turn it off. I'm not into that. I love the ones he does with the other comedians. Those are great.
Yeah, they're awesome. But I love it sometimes when he has a oddball on like that.
Yeah.
That's a physicist or whatever,
Yeah.
You watch one with Bernie Sanders?
Oh, I was very surprised by that one. I didn't know what direction it was going to go in, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
He's the new late night, dude. He's the new late night.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it. It's true.
Well, I think podcasting in general is going to take over the whole late night format. It's just so damn good and so much better, and stuff. I used to love to be on, the Tonight Show and what have you. I don't really anymore, Maybe I'd like to be on Conan at least once, but that's about it. I love the podcasting format.
Right, you wouldn't say no, but yeah.
Exactly. When did you get to the Comedy Store?
I got to LA, I don't know, like 4 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And started hanging out at the store.
Mm-hmm.
I was so ignorant when I moved here. Honestly, I had no idea how the Comedy Store worked.
Yeah.
Comedy was still a whole new learning experience to me.
Yeah.
And I remember just saying, well, I'm going to move to LA. I want to be on TV. Maybe I'll get a part-time job at the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
That was my plan. Like, it was going to be easy peasy. And then you realize it's not that easy to get a job at the Comedy Store. And so it took me a while to get in, Because at first they didn't even hire women for door guys. So I was the first woman they hired as a door guy.
Mm-hmm.
So had to get through that shit, and then now I'm in, and it's the best. It's a family too. It's a family at a Comedy Store. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah, I got down to the Comedy Store for the first time in April of 2016. I had just won a settlement from my accident, and me and a friend, we went out there for 8 days. I was completely naive. The Comedy Store podcast had not started yet, so I thought it was the old system. I thought maybe Mitzi was still running it, and it was going to be everyone got in the same way. that they did
Right.
back in the day, you know. So we go on a Monday. We park in the parking lot garage, and we're walking down that ramp, and I get a shudder down my back because that's where Steve Lubekin landed when he jumped off of the Hyatt in '79 during the strike.
Yeah.
And we meet this fucking crazy neurotic Jewish guy. He was like a homeless Woody Allen. This guy. He said he's been a potlucker there since like the '80s, and he was just really bitter and angry and talking shit about other comedians, and we're just having this conversation with him, and then little by little, all these wannabe comics start just piling up to get there to sign up on Monday night, and I got on the list, but I did not get in. But I went in and watched the guys go up and stuff, and it was very ominous in the OR to me. I could feel the presence of dead comedians in that room. I didn't see them, but I felt them.
I know. It's a weird thing, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's really profound, and I just felt like I had the sense like I was Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Like I have always been there, you know.
Oh, wow.
It was a weird feeling. But then all these comedians were terrible, and I was just so depressed that I was just like, let's get the hell out of here. And then we go down to Mel's Diner down the street to eat dinner, and then I look on Facebook, and Dave Chappelle just showed up to do a set. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. So you missed Dave.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Steve, you would have stuck it out.
Yeah. And then that Saturday night, we went back to see a show in the OR. We saw Bobby Lee, Bill Burr, a bunch of people I didn't even know their names at the time, and it was a great show, damn good show. And I've been back 3 times since, and I enjoy going there.
That's awesome. I'm glad you came back.
Oh yeah. Keep going back. Hopefully this year I'll be able to move out there for at least a little while and stuff, and hang out more.
You're going to move out here.
Yeah, I was supposed to move out there last July, but it fell through. The girl I was going to be staying with out there, she got in trouble with the law.
Oh shit.
I was fucking pissed. Yeah. Oh my god. I was all ready to leave. I was excited and everything, and then fucking she got in trouble with the law, and she had her kid taken away from her and everything. Yeah.
Damn, well, it almost sounds like maybe you dodged the bullet, though.
Yeah, I sure did dodge a bullet. It was scary. But
That wouldn't have been good if you were stuck out here.
yeah. Did you have all these preconceived notions when you got out there?
Oh yeah, I just had no clue, dude. I had no clue. I don't know what it. I just had this grandiose idea. And granted, all right, before I started stand up, I didn't even know it was an option. You know?
Yeah.
I hadn't listened to it. I don't. Maybe podcasts were just starting to come out or what. I wasn't listening to any, so I had no idea how any of it worked. I didn't know how people got into showbiz. I thought, somebody just saw you and they were like, come with me. You're going to be a star,
Yeah.
It does not work that way.
Were people trying to stop you from leaving?
In Sacramento?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Brian was like. I don't understand why you want to go. And, because I was doing great things at the comedy spot, and I loved it there. And that's what I told him. I was like, I don't know. I said, this is something I need to pursue, and I don't think it's going to happen here because I have to go to L.A. for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. People are... One thing I have learned, especially in the last year and a half that I was in the Bay Area doing comedy, coming back from the accident, one thing I noticed is you tell people that you want to go to L.A., everyone automatically hates you.
Yeah, because they've chosen not to. And, I mean, it's fine. Everybody has their own direction, you know? We can't all go the same way.
Yeah, my best friend, who's an actor, you know, he's made it known that he wants to go out to L.A. with me and everything like that. And I was like, no, man, you don't want to tell nobody, because everyone's already trying to tell him not to leave and shit. I'm like, don't tell them, man. You know, just do it. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not close with any of the other actors that he knows and stuff. And I wasn't close with any of the other comedians. I shouldn't have even said anything that was my trajectory and shit. But you live and you learn.
A lot of it is it's just, if they're telling you no, a lot of that is just their insecurities.
Right.
Because if you leave, they're like, well, fuck, am I going to be able to make it where I am?
Yeah. And the chances are they probably won't.
Well, you never know. I mean, with podcasts and the way things are streamed these days, I mean, you can make it from anywhere if you keep doing it and keep at it and work hard. You know what I mean?
Right. In the Bay Area, though, everyone's fucking lazy. I'll tell you. They, you know, I think.
So you're breaking up. So what did you say?
Oh, I was saying, you know, in the Bay Area, though, everyone is fucking lazy. Like, marijuana has really made the Bay Area lazy, you know, and very few people out there have podcasts or do anything beyond comedy. They all think that they're going to make it by just doing comedy, and in this day and age, you got to do more than that. You have to act, you have to have a podcast, you have to do a lot of things, you know?
Right. It's true. You can't just do stand-up anymore.
No. I mean, even back in the day, there were people who did everything, but that's very rare now. But everyone's, you know, getting back into it now of doing everything, you know, whatever's big in the moment. But
right,
yeah,
you just have to keep at it. You got to have content out there so people can watch you or listen to you or whatever when they do find you, you know?
Right. Yeah, I decided my senior year I was going to move to LA and join the Groundlings and do improv and sketch for them. But then my grandmother was sick, and I had to watch her for 9 months until she died after I graduated high school. And then I went to junior college for a semester. They pretty much asked me to leave because I was too busy smoking pot and telling jokes than doing anything else. Yeah. Oh God, I was so not focused because I missed my grandmother that I was just behaving badly. And my mother, she wasn't upset or nothing about me because she knows that college isn't for everybody, you know, and stuff. But I told her I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and she said that I needed to take a break from anything and just live some life first. And she was right. And so that's what I did. And then in 2006, 1 week after I found out I had to lose 100 pounds because I was dangerously overweight, my best friend who had been wanting to do stand-up for a while, he found a place in San Francisco called the Brainwash Cafe, which was a laundromat with a bar and grill.
Yeah, I've done it. It was a great room while it lasted.
Yeah, you got to go there?
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, that he said, okay, he said, let's go up there. And I was just like, are you fucking crazy, man? We can't go right now. I mean, we don't have anything to say. And he's like, I'll buy us a notepad and we'll write on the train. And so I was like, okay. So I went. The only thing I could come up with was a rant about Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise getting married at that time. And I had all these like fat jokes that I heard from Bob Zaney, a comedian that I really liked. Yeah. And so I was the very last comedian of the night, and there was 2 black girls there, and the guy who ran the show, Tony Sparks, and my friend. That was it. That was my audience at the end of the night. The Bob Zaney jokes got laughs. My rant about Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes did not. And the two black ladies, they walked out during that. But I felt so damn confident that I was just like, I love this. I'm gonna continue doing it. And
right, you either get the
yeah,
get it, the bug, or you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, so I immediately started writing, and um, writing jokes became my replacement for eating junk food, and I lost 130 pounds in a year and a half.
Damn, dude, that's great.
Yeah, and now
Maybe I can do the same.
now I'm on that diet again and stuff because I gained a lot of weight during this recovery process during depression and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
don't do it, that's for sure.
And then I got a job as a bouncer in a bar. After I came back, I had a short stint in Arizona in 2007. I went to the comedy spot over there and took this comedy class. And the woman who was teaching it, her name was Deanne Kincaid. She was a writer for Talk Soup on the E channel back in the day. And she was very bitter that she never made it. She was always trying to make everyone into a clean comedian, and that's not what I do. So it ended up just being a waste of time, that class. And so I came back to the Bay Area. I got a job at this bar as a bouncer after their comedy night had been canceled. They offered me a job, and I was still going up, during the week, in different places and everything. But then by early '09, I was so immersed in this job that I quit stand up for a year and a half because getting laid was more fun than telling jokes after a while. And so I lost a job Thanksgiving weekend, and then I fell into a depression. And then by end of 2010, I snapped out of it and got back up on stage. And I was up on stage for the next 3 years until my mom and we lost everything thanks to her ex-boyfriend. And then I had to quit comedy for a year again. And then I got back up on stage, and then my accident happened. And then I was in the hospital for 6 months, and then I got out June 5th, the day before my birthday, and then August 5th, I was back on stage, and I stayed on stage until I left the Bay Area in April of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an incredible comedy journey so far, huh?
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs. I mean, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I even hosted.
But you're still, it says a lot. Because you're still trying to, chase it. And that's how much this has a hold on us.
Yeah, I haven't been up in like 2 years now, but because over here in Reading, there's like no comedy scene out here and stuff, But we moved out here because the Bay Area got expensive. But at least I've been doing this podcast since within a month of moving up here, and it's really helped me.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I can relate with the depression slump. Definitely, even, sometimes you don't even think you are, but you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you let it eat at you, and then it just becomes a part of you, so you don't even realize.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we do this?
Yeah. It's been fucking nuts.
We fucking torture ourselves, dude.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And fucking, I don't know if you run into this in LA, but in the Bay Area, there's a lot of fucking what we call now PC and woke comedians going on.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of those too.
Yeah, and it's funny. The word woke hadn't even been invented yet, but by the time I got back into comedy after my accident and shit, but now in hindsight, I fucking see it. And there's all these female comedians who are dirty on stage, but then they're all pissed off because guys are being dirty on stage and being dirty off stage and shit. It's just like, what the fuck.
Right. Yeah. Can't have it
We have
both ways.
Yeah, we have a lot of open mic female comedians in the Bay Area who are just doing it because their 9 to 5 job is boring them and their husbands are assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I feel like I'm fucking lonely. I want somebody to fight with.
Yeah.
Well.
I want somebody to fight with. Shit. Yeah. It's fucking insane. You know, and I got to play the Improv a lot in San Jose during the last year I was there, and that was cool. Oh my god, because I'd been a I wouldn't say I was a regular, but I was a guy. I was performing at Rooster T. Feathers all the time in Sunnyvale. Have you played that club yet?
Sunnyvale, no. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I've been to Tommy T's, is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, I had my
yeah.
Just before I left, I had my first paid gig at Tommy T's, and I could not show up because there was a rainstorm and a fucking tree fell on top of the train behind the one I was on.
Say that again? What happened to the train?
It was storming, raining, and a tree collapsed, and it fell on top of the train that was behind the train that I was on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like the one that was behind us. And I literally could not... we were like halfway there, and I literally could not get there. And so I had to fucking take a bus home, and I was so fucking pissed. It was my first paid gig.
That does suck, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, did they ever invite you back?
No.
Oh, you're like, it's not my fault, it's a fucking train.
Now that club is weird anyways, and I don't know if you had to experience this, but they want mostly clean comedy there.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
I mean, Rooster T. Feathers, they welcome all types of comedy, but the owner Heather, she gravitates towards the cleaner comedians, even though she has had dirty comedians there. And yeah, I was there like once a month on their new talent night. I'm probably the only guy in the history of that place to be a new talent guy there for like 6 years.
Oh, wow. So they just keep dipping into the same pool.
Yeah. It's a bringer show mentality on Wednesday night there. I was never able to bring more than 4 people out because nobody wants to go see an amateur showcase on a Wednesday night.
Right. It's an odd time. Yeah.
Yeah. But
well, how do you feel about the bringer shows? The bringer show.
I think that they are shit, quite frankly. I've never been able to get a ton of people out for any show, and I'm totally against the bringer show. I think that they really need to go away, and they need to figure out another way for amateur comedians to shine, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get, to a degree, I feel like there is a place for them. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes where there's too many, and then oftentimes, you know, when someone comes to a bringer show as an audience member, that's the first time they're ever going to a show.
Yeah.
It'll end up being their last, you know?
Yeah. It really fucking sucks. Yeah, when I was playing the Improv there was a once a month comedy competition showdown, as they called it, where the first place winner gets to be a feature, and the second place winner gets to MC. And I don't know what there was a lot of fucking political shit going on. There was me and several people who should have won didn't. I got to do it 4 times, and I came very close, I feel, but I don't know. There's a lot of political shit going on. I remember the last one I did ended up being the last one that they did because there was some cheating going on. This guy, I knew him too, and I had some beef with him. He goes up there, his first joke gets a laugh, and then every joke after that did not get a laugh, and they gave him the light 90 seconds in, and he won that night. He won to be a feature, and then they took it away from him, and then they canceled the contest because it was yeah. Yeah, because he fucking sold weed to the judges.
That's why they did it, because he sold weed to the judges?
Yeah, because he shouldn't have won because he only got one laugh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe that they took it all away, because normally nobody would do that.
Yeah. Well, I think what they did was they just didn't, make him, a feature there.
Wow.
Yeah. That ended up being the last one there. And we were all pissed that he got it. And that guy, he's in San Diego now. I hope he doesn't make his way to L.A. His name's Mikey Gordon.
I don't know who that is. Sometimes those contests are fucked up. They have judges on there that aren't even into comedy. I think one time I had a judge that was like a funeral director.
Really?
What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, like how is he qualified to judge comedy?
Right.
Shit. That's fucking funny. Oh my god, so I wanted to ask you, I found out that you had a role in the Clint Eastwood movie, The Mule.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that experience? Man, I'm fucking jealous.
It was great, dude. Clint was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience. I was in a Clint Eastwood movie, Not a lot of people can say that, so that's pretty fucking cool,
Yeah.
In January, I think it comes out like January 15th, I'm on an episode of Grace and Frankie on Netflix.
Grace and Frankie.
That'll be fun. I can't wait for that to come out. And I've had the chance to work with like legends, Clint Eastwood, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda.
Wow.
Damn,
Yeah.
So I can't complain in that aspect. I hope I keep being able to work, because it's just so cool, and it's so fun.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So did you go in and audition for Clint?
I didn't audition for in person at all for that movie, actually. I just sent in a tape and then got booked right off the tape.
Wow. That's right. Everything's Skype now and all that.
Right. But still, a lot of times people still bring you in for a callback. So I did find it a little strange that I was booked right off the tape, but I was like, hey, it works for me.
Mm-hmm. So you were out there for a day?
Yeah, actually, I was there for like a week.
Oh.
But I did, Laughing Skull, did some sets there in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Just tried to make, good time of it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, and plus too, he's going to be 90 this year. It's amazing he's still working. But we don't know how long it's going to be for.
Yeah, he's getting up there. It was weird seeing him that way, because you have this picture of Clint in your head as always, as Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So more power to him for still doing it,
Yeah, it's funny what a career he had, because he was this this macho guy. He had this macho screen persona and making these formalic action movies, and then later half of his life he gets all these Academy Award winning dramatic films that he directs. It's just it's amazing. No one else has had a career like that.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Was it intimidating at all?
I don't think I would say it was intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? It was just fun. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I just embraced it and like, this is what it is. You have to kind of go into that mentality too, especially when you do any kind of, movie. If you do anything, you never know. Like your shit can just be cut. Right? So I was just like trying to enjoy the moment, talking to Clint and then that kind of stuff. Just enjoy that and be in the moment, because a lot of times, like those scenes that you do, they could end up getting cut completely.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I was like, with me only doing one scene, it's a good chance it can maybe not make it. So I just wanted to enjoy the moment. I don't think it was intimidating. I just think it was like awe-inspiring. It was inspiring, Like if he can do it, fuck, anybody can do it, We can keep at it. If you just keep at it, something will happen.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I've been in I was in a music video. I was in actually a couple music videos. I got cut out of one of them because I had a falling out with the singer's friend who wanted to fuck me. This was like back in 2009, and then in 2016 I was in a music video for a local band in San Francisco. Video that's on YouTube, and I'm clearly visible in it. You just gotta pause because it can be really quick. And I got interviewed for a documentary that Linnea Quigley, the 80s horror movie Scream Queen, was making. She did my podcast for the first time within a month of me starting, and then I went out to LA for a convention that she was at, and she interviewed me for it, and it was hella cool. I was like, man, I can't fucking believe it. I remember being a kid watching her movies on USA Up All Night and jacking off to her and shit. It's just, I can't believe she's interviewing me. And she announced the movie's gonna be out finally, like this year and stuff. I hope I'm in it. We had a little misunderstanding last June. We did another podcast, and then a couple days later, my fucking drunk brother called her by accident. He hit redial on the phone, and I wasn't aware of this. I was actually sleeping. I was up late the night before, and I was sleeping. And then I wake up, and then I get a fucking call from her manager, who I'd never even fucking met or talked to, because I talked to Linnea, through messaging on Facebook. And she's fucking screaming at me saying, why did you call Linnea, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fucking, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I get a couple messages from some other podcast guests saying, hey, did you call me? And I was like, no. And then I go into the front room and I see my brother, drunk as fucking hell, hitting redial over and over again on the phone. And I just fucking grabbed it from him. I was so fucking mad.
Oh, jeez. Why would he do that?
Huh?
Why the hell would he do that?
He was trying to get a hold of our mother because she was on a commute. She was coming. She was down in the Bay Area, and she was coming home. And he wanted her there, and he was just drunk off his ass.
Oh, damn. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry.
That sucks. Yeah, I sent Linnea an email at Christmas time and told her the whole scenario, and I never heard back, but whatever. It wasn't my fault. It was something that just fucking happened.
Right.
And I'm embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I get it. It sucks. Life throws that shit at you. You did the right thing. You told her, what happened, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. He's in rehab now, so I'm not worried about it happening again. He'll be out end of May.
Well, I hope he keeps it together.
I hope so too. This has just been the worst period of his life. He's going through a divorce and stuff. So I wanted to get into some taboo stuff with you.
Taboo?
Yeah.
Okay. Like what?
Well, let's see. Sex is my vice as much as it is my hobby, and I love talking about it. And I'd like to start this by asking. I always start with this question when I get into taboo. I was curious, what do you think about the G-spot?
What What do I think about it?
Yeah.
That's such a general question. I mean, so what are your thoughts on the G-spot? I don't know. I mean, I read a thing where, what was I reading? Like a guy can hit your cervix.
Yes.
Some women really like that sensation. And some don't. I've only came really with one person with actual just straight, penetration. So it might be a myth. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is what I think. I think, because we can't see it, we can only feel it or think that we're feeling it, I think it's the most wonderful thing about the woman's sexual anatomy. However, it's very small and it should be bigger.
Right.
I mean, depending on who the woman is, I mean, certain clitorises are big or small, but the G-spot definitely needs to be bigger, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. This was such an awkward transition. My brother is addicted to drugs and in rehab. So what's your thoughts on sex?
I know, I like to jump around, go from, topic to topic and stuff.
My dog's having a fit outside and I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Right now, I'll tell you right now, I feel like I'm hitting a sexual peak and I want to try and ride that train. But I was having somebody I was having sex with and now that's done. So I'm in the search. I just downloaded Tinder. Ugh.
Tinder, yeah.
We shall see. But it's hard to find that person that you're just comfortable with and at least can just have like a sexual relationship,
Mm-hmm.
It can be hard to find that.
I know. When I first got down here to Reading, I was fucking my neighbor for a little bit, and then she moved. And everybody in this apartment complex moves like within 6 months because this is an area. This is like a Bible community, over here, which does not fit well with me. I'll tell you. They're very politically correct over here in Reading, and so yeah, within 6 months, everybody in this building leaves and stuff because there's it's a cult is what it is, but it's a fucking Bible study college that's nearby, but it's a cult. It's called Bethlehem, and there's all these like 18 to 22-year-olds living here, and they go here for a semester, and then they realize what a cult it is and what bullshit it is. They leave.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, but this neighbor I had, though, she was 2 years older than me. I'm 36, and she was 2 years older than me, and she was married, but she was in an open marriage, and so.
Right.
And so, like, her husband was cool with me, and he approved of me and stuff. So he let me have his wife, whenever the mood struck and stuff. And she even recommended me to her sister, who was like 10 years younger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Recommended you?
Yeah.
What are you on, ZipRecruiter?
Yeah.
She's hit over your LinkedIn?
Yeah. And they all ended up moving back to San Diego at the end of 18, and so they're gone now. So I don't really have anybody right now and stuff, but I'm always keeping my applications open.
Yep, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's so weird how we treat sex, but everybody wants to do it. It's a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And since I was in junior high, I've had a reputation as the finger bang master.
Oh, bang bang.
I joke about it in my stand-up. You know, I have huge hands. I got the kung fu grip and everything.
Man. Tommy, are we about done? I hate to be that person, but I'm doing some Festival of Light thing, whatever, tonight. And I gotta do this laundry.
Okay. First, tell me about Liars Club. How did you get into that with Felicia and all them?
Well, I was working the back door, and Felicia came to the comedy store, and she introduced herself, and I was like, yeah, you know who you are. And, we started talking and stuff like that, and I just mentioned to her, I was like, would you maybe be interested in doing a podcast together?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, in my mind, at first, I just thought our voices would be cool together, because we're such opposites, as far as that's concerned.
Right.
And, she thought about it for a while, we started doing it, and it just, we've become really good friends. I love her. She's amazing. She's an amazing comic. She's an amazing person. She's an amazing friend. So I really kind of hit the jackpot, if I'm being honest. And I love the show. We're having so much fun with the show. More and more people are starting to come and play along live with us, and that's been really cool. I'm having such a great time with it. I hope we get to keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm glad the Comedy Store is doing all these podcasts now. I really enjoy watching them on YouTube. I was at Comedy Day in San Francisco in 2016. Felicia was up there on stage just killing, and I was just starstruck. I remember her on Full House. She did a couple episodes of Full House back in the 90s. And
we picked on her because she kissed Dave Coulier.
Yes. And I wanted to go talk to her afterwards and shit, but she had one of her sons with her and she was leaving, so I didn't get to talk to her. But now I've been trying to get her on the podcast for like a year now, and hopefully I'll get her when her schedule clears and stuff.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching the podcast though. And in closing, what's your favorite joke of all time?
What's my favorite joke of all time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude.
It could be a public domain one. It could be one you came up with or someone else. Anything.
I know some people really get into, they know their favorite bits and all of that, and I do not. Man. I don't know. I mean, one of my favorite jokes is one that I do about me being on court TV. It's a fun one to do because it's true as well. So that's one of it's a long joke. I can't get into it, but it's about how court TV is not real, and a lot of people, especially in the Midwest, still believe all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all real, and it's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
No.
And then I played a skinhead in court TV, so.
Well, it would be funny if Dom Irrera was the judge, because he was doing a show for a while where he was a judge and he was judging other comedians. Yeah.
Dom was on a lot of shows in the 90s.
Oh, he was on so many of them. He was on the show that comedian Jeff Martyr had on Comedy Central. That was terrible. He was on so many different shows. But my favorite joke of all time is this. How do you make your wife scream twice?
How?
First you fuck her up the ass, and then you wipe your dick on the curtain.
Oh, jeez.
Love that joke.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun, and I just know
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, and I just know you're going to be super successful out there. And
Well, thank you, dude. That really means a lot. I hope you're right.
Next time I'm in town, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, do that. For sure. Thanks so much. It's been fun.
Awesome. My pleasure. Have yourself a great set tonight.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you, dude.
Happy New Year to you.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Jessica Wellington. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Jessica. You were a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we could relate to each other and talk about comedy, talk shop, because it's a very rare and hard thing to do. I talk to a lot of comedians these days because they're fucking woke, but we are not. And I enjoy talking to you, Jessica. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.